More than 1 million people in Singapore have had COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic, and most have fully recovered. But for some individuals, the virus can cause symptoms that continue for weeks or months after the infection has gone. The term is long COVID, and in today's paper, Correspondent Akshita Nanda tells the story of So, a 51-year-old events organizer. Since contracting COVID-19 at the end of February, Ms. So suffers from fatigue, brain fog and difficulty in concentrating. Akshita also suffers from long COVID. In March, she wrote about her own experience of how fatigue and brain fog affected her daily life, when even simple tasks required huge amounts of energy and focus. Akshita joins us now. Akshita, from what I understand, there is a wide range of symptoms for long COVID, and they may not affect everyone in the same way. Is there a test to diagnose long COVID?
There's a range of symptoms, the most common being fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and respiratory issues such as chest pains and coughs. Some specialists in Singapore have even seen people with heart palpitations, insomnia, loss of taste or smell, anxiety, depression, and gastric issues. Hair loss has also been reported in some studies overseas, but there's currently no blood test or clinical diagnostic test for long COVID. Doctors ask patients about their symptoms. They exclude other possible causes such as thyroid issues or anemia for fatigue, and then they judge whether or not this could be the long COVID syndrome. The World Health Organization actually defines long COVID as a post-COVID condition that cannot be explained by an alternative diagnosis.
What is the greatest challenge for sufferers of long COVID? Is it the uncertainty about how soon you will recover?
Like any traumatic or life-changing event, it's very difficult to explain long COVID to someone who hasn't gone through it. The people I interviewed used to climb rock walls or go on long 14-kilometer walks for fun. 3 months after getting COVID, they suffer from unimaginable fatigue. They had to lie down and rest for most of the day before I met them, just so they would have the energy to take my questions. After I left them, they had to rest again before, picking up their kids or cooking. People with long COVID have had to adjust their lives dramatically to cope. I mean, there's hope for them, but recovery can take 6 months, maybe more. And during that time, how do they explain to their kids that they're too tired to supervise their homework or play with them? How do they explain to their colleagues that they just can't take a quick phone call because they can't breathe properly? And how do they continue to maintain mental health when the body constantly defeats them? And yeah, some people think they're just making it all up. There are helpful lessons from the community of persons with disabilities. People with long COVID have learned about pacing, work within your limits, don't exceed those.
Sounds like there needs to be a greater awareness of long COVID. Akshita, are doctors seeing more cases here?
Doctors I spoke to said they are seeing more cases this year compared with earlier waves of the pandemic. However, the Ministry of Health does not track the total number of such cases, according to parliamentary questions filed earlier this year. Vaccinations do appear to decrease the risk of getting long COVID, but I guess some of us are just very special.
Nearly 4 months on after getting COVID, how is your battle with long COVID? How are you feeling now?
Well, my cognitive function has improved. I'm not making tea in my laptop. I can do Wordle and word puzzles now, and also crosswords. Cognitive training like this has been recommended by some rehab doctors. Personally, sometimes my symptoms flare up for no discernible reason, and the World Health Organization noted this is a possibility. In the first week of May, I was out for about a week with breathlessness and chest pains. I'm seeing a specialist for rehab, and I'm also very lucky to have a job with an employer who supports lifestyle and workplace adjustments. These adjustments let me do what I love and support my family without killing myself. There's a very real risk here that if people with long COVID just push through, they can injure themselves severely. You can't just push through, you need rest and rehab. Pushing through could kill your muscle tissue and lead to even worse health problems.
Akshita, thank you for the sharing. Correspondent Akshita Nanda. You can read more about long COVID with insights from sufferers and doctors on the condition. You'll find Akshita's story online at str.sg/livingwell. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos.